Hailing Tiamat from Fate, Grand Order. Tiamat is the mother of all gods, meaning she resides in the river side of the world. The river side of the world is the place where Kiara created the Cage of the Fallen, which boasted multiple levels of extraspatial and extratemporal dimensions beyond the moon cell. This realm is where the gods and phantasmal beings retreated after the end of the Age of Gods. It's a realm incompatible with the laws and rules of humanity, basically all concepts. And this realm is obviously higher dimensional as it contains true forms of gods who are said to exist in higher dimensions, meaning a god's existence as a higher dimensional being is qualitatively superior to a servant container to handle, which makes the god superior to even servants like Altera, who can destroy the moon cell. Now let's talk about the Earth, then the moon cell. Each planet has its own concept. Earth has textures, and the textures are different realities and higher dimensions. And we know the Earth by itself runs on quantum mechanics, so the Earth has infinite higher dimensions. And we know it can't be 40 because Avalon is higher dimensional as well. Its a noble phantasm form was described as having the capability of blocking virtually anything up to the 6th dimension, which so far would be high hyper. Now we know the moon cell is a structure located on the moon, has been recording human history since the beginning. The moon cell is able to create infinite Earths with every future and possibilities. Some / and other infinite Earths are beyond the concept of time and space, so it is above all Earths. The moon cell is also able to create an infinite set of worlds that transcend the concept of distance, time, and space, and fill these worlds with numbers, which causes them to have a basis in mathematics. And a basis is a set of vectors that spans a vector space, meaning any vector in that space can be expressed as a linear combination of the basis vectors. And a vector space is a mathematical structure defined by a set of vectors, along with operations of vector addition and scalar multiplication, satisfying certain properties like closure under these operations and adherence to vector space axioms. This would mean if you did an extreme low ball, the 4th dimension would be all of 0, the dimensions after that would be all of 1, and it would go infinitely like that. And this is only one of the Earths. We also know a R greater than F transcendence also exists within the moon cell. The moon cell has also been confirmed to have created a world as well, so it's shown the capability to perform such a feat. So Tiamat scales above all of this, existing within the river side of the Earth. Tiamat also scales above every servant, as servants can't reach gods no matter how much they transcend. So H1A to Tier 0. Now let's talk about hacks. Space-time manipulation. Tiamat shakes space and time themselves just by waking up. Her spirit origin possesses well over 7 times the magical energy of a holy grail, which, let me remind you all, are the driving forces behind both singularities and modern holy grail wars, for various reasons. Information manipulation type 2, soul manipulation, conceptual manipulation type 2, biological manipulation, and mind manipulation. Tiamat's authority takes the form of pitch black seawater and is imbued with various abilities that involve rewriting one's very existence. And that's exactly what it does. If any being, whether they're human, monster, servant, or whatever, even so much as touches the mud of the gods for a time span exceeding a few moments, they're swallowed up, absorbed, and their existence is rewritten into that of another of her children. The active evolution combined with her own authority is her own unique version of authority of the beast, which puts any natural-born creature at a disadvantage against her. Power nullification. Just being near her can utterly disable you as well. Here she's seen nullifying and sealing the abilities of all those around her, decreasing their hacks resistance, debuffing their physical stats, and etc. Conceptual manipulation type 1. Corruption. Tiamat is capable of rewriting her own spirit origin, aka the essential information that makes up a servant's existence. Life manipulation. Tiamat is the origin of life on Earth itself, and was actually sealed away by the gods because her control over life itself allowed her to basically create entire evolutionary trees, totally separated from the existing one at causality type 1, 2, and 3. Tiamat exists across all of both space and time. Attacks involving temporal paradoxes, time travel, or death manipulation are rendered worthless against her. Life and death manipulation. Resistance to physics manipulation. Tiamat was also described as both the beginning and the end of all life on Earth. It's because of this that Tiamat has no concept of death and is unbound by the traditional laws of physics normally. As long as life itself exists on Earth, Tiamat can never be slain. Tiamat's unique beast skill is called negagenesis. This is a passive ability that basically makes her an absolute hack stank. It denounces the very concept of evolution and everything in human knowledge pertaining to the world's creation. And as such, she gains high resistance, as in borderline nullification level resistance, to the abilities of any being that relates to the concept of evolution, aka any naturally born organism. It also gives her the same type of resistance to the abilities of any being originating from a proper timeline. Tiamat has immortality. Types 1, 3, 5, 6, and 8 lacks the concept of death, and cannot be harmed or even affected by the traditional laws of physics unless all other living things on Earth are dead as well. Power nullification, soul manipulation, information manipulation, type 2, and conceptual manipulation, type 2. Tiamat is stated to take no damage from A++ in the context of fate. All attacks above that rank are top-tier noble phantasms, essentially meaning that high-level conceptual attacks are mandatory when fighting her. High resistance to reality warping, law manipulation, conceptual manipulation, the authorities and powers of Ishtar-Quetzalcoatl and anyone else in the singularity. Tiamat could come back from having her spirit origin destroyed, so high godly regeneration. He's stated to be an evil that surpasses the King of Mages, which in this instance, the King of Mages is denoted for Goetia, as Lion King refers to King of Mages as Goetia. She possesses authority from the age of Genesis/birth of planet, which effectively means her authority is one at the very pinnacle of those on Earth. She also possesses enough power to take down even aliens. So in conclusion, she's busted.